today we are going over your mindset, the mindset associated with what the heck should a workout feel like. And this information is very helpful to you, I'm sure, because what you think a workout should feel like may not be the feeling that is going to give you the best result. So in order to answer that question, what should my workout feel like? We have to dig a little deeper. We have to have kind of like an understanding of how to communicate intensity, as well as we need to have an idea of what activity we're talking about, what we're trying to accomplish. So let's first start with having an understanding of a scale to use that we can communicate intensity. Let's call that a rating of perceived exertion scale. That's a scale from 1 to 10. 1 feels like you're lying on a sofa, and a 10 feels like an all-out effort. So between that 1 and 10, everything that you do can fall within that. So if I'm asking you, how do you feel, or more specifically, where on a 1 to 10 scale is that exercise on intensity? And you might tell me, Corey, it's a 2. Well, that tells me it's pretty light. It's, maybe you're walking. Or it might be like, wow, I just sprinted, Corey. That's a 10. That's a dead out sprint. I just did a 20-yard sprint as fast as I could. That's a 10 for me. So again, as you go through this, you should know what those numbers feel like. If I gave you an example, lying on your back and breathing in a corpse pose is a 1. Let's call that a 1. A super light walk, maybe that's a 2. Maybe a pretty decent walk, maybe that's a 3. Maybe a really fast walk to maybe a super light run, maybe that's a 4. Maybe a light run, a little bit faster than that super light run, might be a 5. Maybe a run that is just very comfortable is a 6. Maybe a run that's a pretty decent pace where I could still talk, but I'd rather not. Maybe that's a 7. Maybe I go a little beyond where I'm comfortable and I can't talk. Maybe let's call that an 8. And maybe I'm running and I'm doing, a pretty decent effort, like really decent effort, and I, don't really think I can make it much longer, like we're talking track work, maybe a 400 or an 800 or something that is, very challenging to me and I really am looking forward to stopping. Let's call that a 9. And then, of course, something short duration, all-out effort, let's call that a 10. So on a 1 to 10 scale, everything can kind of be in one of those numbers. And again, it's not a research-based setting, but just generally speaking. So that also kind of goes in line with the activities that we do in this environment. Even though we may be doing strength or what have you, I gave you a run example, but it's easier for most people to kind of get what it feels like to run. So, so throughout the course of our lives, whether it's male or female, but I tend to find this more common with males. Males tend to think that they have to absolutely kill themselves. And unfortunately, that's not true. So males who are that type A, successful, maybe they're athletes, they just, think that they have to be sweating and they have to be like I said, the body beat down. And in order for them to feel like they got a great workout, that's what they need to feel like. So it's not true. So what happens is that if I push my intensity, yeah, it feels harder. And specifically if I'm doing conditioning schemes, it feels harder. But it may not be the best thing to do to get the best result. So as an example, if I increase my intensity beyond what I would call a neural edge, that means that I'm compensating to do that. And if I'm compensating, it increases my risk for injury. And also, if my goal is to shape and tone, to feel great, look great, ultimately perform better, actually greasing the groove and patterning movement, doing things that are more within a comfortable intensity can actually be more effective. So as an example, lean muscle mass is primarily responsible for your metabolism. It's also primarily responsible for shaping and toning, people who want to look better. And for us, that's pretty much everybody. And that's a huge motivator for people to exercise. They want to look better. So in order for us to help them look better, we need to shape and tone. We need to enhance their lean muscle mass. We need to get them strong. So I find that a lot of people tend to rely on cardio only when they want to shape and tone, and that's not going to help them necessarily. We want you to do cardio. It's going to help you feel better and improve your health and improve your cardiorespiratory endurance. All that's good, but it may not help you optimally strength and tone, shape and tone. So with conditioning, if you're in a conditioning scheme, which means that you're going to be doing something for longer duration, because strength schemes are, think of that as like 5 and less reps. Think of shaping and toning rep schemes as that middle rep range, 8 to 10-ish. And think of, beyond the 12 rep range, 15, 20, all that all the way on up, that's all conditioning schemes. So if I have you doing an 8 to 10 rep range, that might take me 20 seconds, might take you 20 seconds to do. If I end up doing something for a minute, that's conditioning, gets more toward conditioning schemes, and that is going to be perceived as more challenging for you. But if you're strength training, even though the perceived exertion is lower, it's going to stimulate your strength and lean muscle mass more, and it might do more for you for shaping and toning. So isn't that kind of cool? So if we're truly doing strength training, I might actually encourage you not to even sweat. I want you to take longer breaks between sets, so you work hard, but then you take a longer break. Work hard, take a longer break. See, lean muscle mass loves to work and rest. It loves to work and rest. Loves that stuff. Individuals who just go all the time, that's called cardio or conditioning. You just don't stop. That's like running and cycling, and that's not optimal for strength and lean muscle mass. That's conditioning. But that might be perceived as more challenging. It might be perceived as, hey, higher on that 1 to 10 scale. So if I'm working with you and we're in a setting in this type of environment, I'm not going to go do steady state training with you. I'm going to do strength, shaping and toning, and I'll do optimal conditioning, which means work hard for a duration. Maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 2 minutes, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's a snatch test, who knows? But then you're going to take a break, and you're going to work, you're going to rest, you're going to work, you're going to rest. And if you're doing strength schemes, even shaping and toning schemes, we're more than likely going to encourage you to take a little break and get your body back to feeling good, and that's done through breath. It's through relaxing. Because when you're just going, your body is not able to move and function and perform its best. So remember that. Remember that intensity does not correlate into results. Just because something is intense doesn't make it better. Just because something is intense doesn't make it better. In a lot of cases, it will make it worse. And just even recently, a lot of clients, I'm seeing that the clients who really want to push the intensity are the clients that have no right to push intensity. They're lacking reflexive core stability. They can't move well, and they're putting all their value on intensity. Not going to happen on my watch. No way. We got to change your mindset. I got to get you moving well first. I got to get your core reflexively stable so you have balance, and then we can gradually build intensity. And intensity can be great, guys. I love intense workouts. Awesome stuff, but you got to earn it. And you have to flow. So not every workout's going to be intense. Just like if you run a 5K, not every race, not every 5K or not every, 3.1 miles that you run should be at your race pace. Most of them aren't. Periodically they are. So same thing with workouts. Every workout shouldn't be incredibly high intensity. No way, no how. You should actually feel good when you're done with exercise. Shocker. But look at running as an example. Do you want to go for like an X mile run and get back and be like, oh my God, that just completely kicked my pants? Or do you want to get back from that X mile run and be like, wow, I feel great. I'm a runner. I want to feel great. And in this world in here, I want you to feel the same thing. I want you to walk out the door feeling great. If you feel like you were beat up, if you feel like you just like completely crushed yourself, that's a body beat down, and you should be looking for you should be looking for boot camp. This is not a body beat down. This is moving intelligently. This is programming intelligently. And you are a smart professional. You're looking for twice the results in half the time. And consistency to the plan is the key. That's it. Consistency of moving your body the way it's designed to move is critical. Breath, neural resets, reflexive performance resets, all the stuff that we do with strength. I mean, they're just spine health. All of that stuff is so critical. Don't lose sight of that. Don't blow it on your preconceived notion of what an exercise routine or exercise should feel like or what you've done in the past, because that is not going to lend itself to a great result. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you don't find this to be preachy necessarily. I think it's education. It's outstanding information, and it will help us, world-class coaches, help you, our members, get the best result possible. And that's why we're here. So this is Corey from Plaza Fitness Performance reminding you to stay smart, stay sharp, and stay strong.